Hi, and welcome to another edition of Colorado Real Estate Rock Stars, where you get to have your own personal meet and greet with some of our biggest rock star agents here in Colorado. Today, I'm joined by Scott Airmont with Remax Advantage here in Colorado Springs. Scott, welcome, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for an opportunity to join you.
Awesome. So I just want everybody to know that Scott and I, we have been doing business together. We've been friends. I consider him one of my closest friends. Actually, he's kind of like a pesky brother most of the time. But we've known each other for probably about 25 years. And I love doing deals with Scott because he cares immensely about his clients. And when I'm doing business with someone, I want them to care as much as I do. So, Scott, first of all, how long have you been in the real estate business?
7 years.
7 years? My gosh.
Both my brothers are in it. My dad was in it. So I was around other forms of property, but a full-on realtor for 7 now.
Gosh, it just doesn't seem possible. Scott and I have cross paths so many times over the years in business and done things together. So, and you love it. I know you love it. Why do you love real estate?
Well,
I know the answer.
I'm a problem solver, and every real estate transaction has a myriad of challenges. And I understand that it is a person's one of their top stress points in life, a very important transaction. So I use my experience in life and my experience in my family and my experience as a realtor to really deliver as a quality result as possible in selling or getting people into a home. It's just an important transaction, and they want to have a good consultative experience and make sure that everything gets done right. And I love to do it.
And I know that you truly do care deeply. Like I don't say that about everybody, but Scott truly does care about people in general, and especially his clients. But tell me a little bit about your family.
Well, all my family is mostly here in the Colorado Springs area. I have a son and a stepson that are in the first phase of adulthood and starting to make their way in life. Thus, I have no more hair.
If it wasn't for kids, you'd have a giant head of tresses, curly tresses.
Yes, I sure would. My lovely wife is from 10 years. We've been together 11 years now, and I just have a really great situation for my family right now. Everything's going good. I mean, life is ups and downs. There's ups and downs every day, but I'm quite blessed and very grateful for my family, for sure.
Tell us a little bit about your wife. I got to tell you, Scott has by far the nicest, absolutely the nicest wife ever. But tell us a little bit about Lana and what she does, because
she was raised in. She was born in the Soviet Union when it was the Soviet Union in Rostov, Russia, and then moved to Crimea and grew up in Crimea in a very musical family. Her aunt was in the Moscow Symphony for decades. Her father was a famous viola player.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Her mom was a conductor at a large school in Crimea. And so she's and then Lana has a high mastery level of musical training in the Russian system. When they get their students on a path, they really focus on that path. So she's a tremendous teacher and has a really good business going. She's training younger teachers how to teach, has a full docket of her own students, and has a lot of fun with them, and is a very good teacher. And you're right, she's a lovely person. We've been together for over a decade, and we were talking the other day, and we've never, ever had one name-calling, screaming match ever. And that's a real blessing right there.
Yeah, I can't even imagine Lana doing something like that. But I think she's probably one of the most successful piano teachers I've ever known, as far as I guess you can say, a local piano teacher. So I know she stays super busy, and I love going over there because the living room has the 3 pianos. It's like wall to wall pianos and plants, because she's also an amazing gardener, as is Scott. But your garden's doing a little better than mine.
Well, it's going crazy now. I'm going to have 600-700 pounds worth of different squashes. It's crazy. It makes me crack up every time I go out there. I think, what was I thinking?
I don't know what's in your soil, but
why did I plant so much? I don't know. I give it away. I'm like Johnny Appleseed a little bit.
Yeah. That's the other good thing about doing business with Scott. He makes sure every fall that his clients have plenty of fresh tomatoes and squash. And I'm not just talking your run-of-the-mill zucchini. There's all kinds of things going, and some amazing tomatoes. So I make sure I stay in his good graces, trust me, at this time of year. Because if you could see my poor, pathetic garden right now that just keeps getting beat up by the hail.
Yeah, it's been a lot this year, huh?
Oh, my gosh. And it's not been like huge damaging hail, but every time I get blooms on the tomato plants, it hails and they get knocked off. Yes. And then I saw the squirrels hanging out like under the tomato plants. I'm like, no, out, you're out right now. So
sick your dogs on them.
Yeah, I'm not. I'll just be going to Sprouts probably this year. Well, no, I'll just be following you around to get stuff.
Yeah, I'm bringing some tomorrow for breakfast.
Yeah, I'll be there. So, what are your favorite kinds of clients to work with? Like, do you feel like you have a niche when it comes to buyers?
I do. Our area is a very favorite landing spot for retired military. Folks that have traveled throughout their military careers, if they stop in Colorado Springs and then they evaluate where they want to end up their retirement years, Colorado Springs really rises to the top for a lot of them. So those are a little bit more mature clients that have already been through the process and many times, and I enjoy helping them acclimate to this great community. Another niche that I've sort of worked my way into after a couple transactions is divorces. That's a highly emotional time, and it takes a little bit of extra care, and so I like working with those kind of folks. It's more challenging, but making that process as stress-free as possible in a very, very stressful time for folks. I've had some success in that area. So that's another one of my kind of niche favorite clients. And then I'm bringing on new agents on my team. So, we're working just new home buyers, and that'd be about the 3 main, military and military retirees, divorces, and then the first-time home buyers. I do that in conjunction with some team members.
And you've done a fair amount of like people that are looking for Airbnb type houses for Airbnb rentals is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and a couple of years ago, I had a client that contracted me to buy a property, and in his business, he manages over 200 of Airbnbs around the country, and he owns about 12 himself. And so that's a fascinating market too. And that to me is a really good investment property because our area, it's a tourist area. We can keep Airbnbs or VRBOs, whatever, if it's got a good system behind it. And I usually, if I'm going to represent, I've got some clients that are looking for that exact kind of property right now, but I always encourage them to get a management company. They handle the internet marketing, the cleaning, maintenance, and all that for like 20%, and they fill the place. So it's a great investment. Property is always a great investment in an up or down market. So that again, that is another area that I'm working in as well.
Do they market other ways besides just on Airbnb, or is it put it on Airbnb and you're pretty much guaranteed someone's going to find it?
And VRBO, those are really they're the giants in the market. It matters the quality of marketing when they go on. If there's great photos and videos and good reviews and those kinds of things, they keep a property filled up all the time. So those are more of the considerations in that marketing process.
Do you think this is still a good market right now for buying those types of rentals?
I do. A number of reasons why. First of all, it's an investment property. So if you're paying more because it's a higher interest rate, well, everybody knows that. And when they're renting properties, that's just built into the cake. And so, and then when rates go down, then they can refinance. And I've got a great referral, the best lender in the area right there.
I am. Thank you for noticing. I try to be. Lord knows I try to be.
Property is a good investment, all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
Almost whatever you're going to do. It's a solid, long-term investment that really can yield results done right.
I call that mailbox money.
Yeah.
It just comes in the mailbox. Well, it goes straight into your account now, but used to be client or tenants would send a check, and it's kind of a no-brainer. So I also know that you go kind of above and beyond on your listings too. When someone wants to list a property, I've seen you make multiple trips to Goodwill and the dump, cleaning up someone's yard. Now, this is not what your average realtor will do, but Scott's kind of like have trailer, will travel. And I don't mean a travel trailer, but tell us a little bit about what you get in there and do when
they call me the Goodwill guy. So yeah, I mean, regular marketing. I actually make sure that no matter what the price of the house, it's a full drone shoot, video shoot, professional photography, professional cleaning. I like to go through and inspect the house thoroughly before, so that there's a good indication of what you can get out of it and what repairs would make sense and what repairs don't need to be done, those kinds of things. So I take a lot of time to make sure that folks are priced in a way that they're realistic and they can get what they need. Those don't always match up, but the market is ultimately the decider of that. And then most of the time I offer my trailer and folks will say, no, we're fine, we'll handle it. And then a few weeks later, I'm like, hey, is that trailer still available?
I know that happened to you on a transaction that we closed with not long ago.
Yep. Can you help us move? That was the washer and dryer is helping move it. So the way I look at it, Linnea, is that they become client partners, and where they're taking me on, I'm compensated on a percentage of the sale. So I'm as motivated to get as great a price as I can. And that includes getting it ready and getting it marketed right. And so and I learned this from my brothers. I didn't come up with the idea, but helping people get their property ready. I mean, I've hauled in rock. I've hauled in, things that are just, they come up, and small items that would normally cost, up to $1,000, we can handle if we just do it ourselves for a lot less than that. Yeah. And so I really try to make sure that the house is ready and all the extra things that go around that. I'm more of the partner when you're listing a house rather than just putting it on the internet and hoping it sells.
Yeah. Put a sign up in the yard and walk away. And
no, that's not.
So no, I know you do go above and beyond, and I do tease you about it because, I know there's a lot of trips to Goodwill, and these aren't like trashed houses or anything. These are beautiful. They're already beautiful homes.
Yeah. When you're moving out, there's always going to be things that you have to throw away and you have to give away, just all the time. And so
I'm not even moving, and I've always got stuff I gotta get rid of. I don't know. Stuff just accumulates in my house.
It's because you have a magnetic personality.
Oh yeah, for furniture, and pretty soon it's like, I either need to open a furniture store or get rid of some stuff. So I need to stay out of estate sales is my problem. I don't need to be going all the time. What's the one thing that you kind of wish people knew on buyers, especially with maybe our first-time home buyers or our first-time move-up buyers? What's the one piece of advice or the one thing you wish they knew going into the transaction?
Honestly, not to pander to your profession, but I wish that everybody would really be prepared and pre-qualified ahead of time. that's a little bit more of a process than people think. And people that go on and go Rocket Mortgage or anything like those online things, it's just not the right situation. You're not, they say you're going to save a little bit of money here, it never happens. And so I'm one of my favorite types of buyers is that they don't, and it is a fear that people have to go, my gosh, I'm giving up my taxes. I'm giving up all my financial information. So one of my first things is to get them over that hurdle and say, no, get it pre-qualified, get pre-qualified. So you know what you're dealing with. That makes the process way better.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than someone thinking they qualify for 700 and they only qualify for 400, or the other way around, or they're looking at $400,000 houses and thinking we'll have to settle, and really it could have been their dream home.
Mm-hmm.
So I, of course, wish everybody would get pre-qualified.
Yeah, it's a critical part of the process. And when buyers, I mean, I can, if I communicate a lot, and you've seen me do it a lot through video, that is stand out from other realtors, not to brag, but it's taken me an extra time to learn that skill set. But when we're going over contracts and amendments and extensions and inspection reports and all that stuff and offers, I like to do it. It's easy to make a video with the screen share and show them what they're getting, show them what they're doing, and explain it to them like we're sitting side by side. But I think one of the lemonades that came out of COVID is that I was forced to operate that way. And I find that clients just love it now, just because we're all so busy. Forget COVID, just to be able to get really good information, really clearly delivered.
Exactly.
My videos are a little bit, I've had clients kind of tease me a little bit and say, wow, you really like those videos. I go, you do too, So it's a little bit different, but I think it really adds a measure of service that I deliver.
Yeah, nobody has time to come into the office anymore and sit there and go through, every time you need them to sign something. Exactly. Or, sometimes even those original conversations that you have to have. It's a little bit easier via Zoom or BombBomb or whatever kind of, video, what type of video you're using. So
it just communicating through a video. First of all, I can do it on my time when I have some time to really deliver the information clearly and concisely. And then they can open up the video and look at it and go back and, well, what was he saying? It's a great way to communicate these complicated items that are all a part of these transactions.
Absolutely. So I think in closing here, I just have to tell everybody that if you do business with Scott, you'll get personal attention. He'll go above and beyond. You'll get some amazing tomatoes that you won't get at the store. I promise that. But you're also going to get a lot of kind of dad jokes in there too.
What?
Yeah, I know. Not you. Scott is also a stand-up comedian. So we got to just you have to sometimes have to parse through what he says, because there was a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm a hobbyist. I'm not really, but I've done some charity events and I have had some time on stage. So it is fun. And I just got that from my dad. My dad was a real joker too. So it is what it is.
And you will be renting out loonies this year for us to
have a big event, client and partners event.
So hurry up and, get on Scott's mailing list. I promise you won't want to miss it. Now, I'm usually just looking at him and rolling my eyes because, if you're around him a lot, you're going to be subjected to this, but it brings a little bit of fun to the transaction.
That's right. You know what? People think that the only way to respond to a joke is laughing. That's not true. Rolling your eyes is a perfect expression. It's okay. It's
my silent laugh. Sometimes I feel like they're permanently rolled to the back of my head, though. But so, hey, I appreciate you coming on and doing this. And
thank you for inviting me.
I, absolutely can just not say enough about I've done enough transactions with you to know that, one, we're going to get it closed. Uh-oh, I hope I didn't jinx anything. But we're going to get it closed. We're going to do what it takes to get it closed. And the client's going to be well taken care of. And that's kind of the main thing.
You're the best to work with. You're so diligent on top of every item. And I just really cringe when I have to work with another lender for whatever reason.
I'm like a pit bull when I get a hold of something. I'm not letting go.
You've gotten so many amazing things done. It's just astounding and very impressive. I really appreciate working.
We've had
with you.
some fun ones.
Yes,
we're just going to call them fun
another show, maybe.
Yeah, we'll talk about all the loan programs I have some other day. You name it, I've got it. I can get you into a house. And Scott will find you the house. So, well, awesome. Thank you for coming on. Be sure to say hi to Lana for me. And I'll be hitting you up for tomatoes real soon.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow for breakfast.
So it's not that we hang out for breakfast all the time. It's just that we have a networking group on tomorrow on Wednesdays. We are recording this on a Tuesday, and on Wednesdays we go to breakfast with a whole bunch of interesting people.
A lot of contractors.
Yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. If you buy a house that you want anything done, you know what? Both Scott and I, we got the inside track on you name it. You need concrete work, we'll do it.
That shouldn't be overlooked, really. That is another benefit for people working with us.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially when they're coming from out of town, they don't know who to trust.
Yeah.
And so we've already vetted everybody and done deals with them, and we know who can
painters, deck builders, plumbers, electricians,
right. Roofers,
fencer, someone to put up fences. Yep. So that's big to have that source. And of course, you know, they're all pretty amazing guys that do this. So. Yep. Anyway, so again, Scott Airmont with Remax Advantage. Yeah, all of a sudden it was Remax Advantage. Thanks a lot, and all of your information will be. Will give us your phone number while we're here. Get your pens and pencils. Write this down.
719-684-6933.
Awesome.
And honestly, you'll probably end up leaving a text. But that's okay.
I think everybody likes to communicate that way now.
You're awesome, Linnea. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I appreciate you too.